watching? Are you watching this? Are you watching this? Yeah. Are you watching this? No. You need to get with it. Are you watching this? We on a TV shit. Are you watching this? You don't wanna miss. Are you watching this? Stop canceling our shit.
Okay. Hey, Chelsea.
Hi, Ellen.
Are you ready for the final recap of The Bear season 4?
I'm so ready.
All right. Well, welcome to the Are You Watching This podcast? The podcast where we do recaps sometimes. I am one of your hosts, Ellen,
And I'm Chelsea.
and we are recapping The Bear season 4, episode 10. It's titled Goodbye, and it's directed and written by Christopher Storer. Just him solely. Do you have any comments before we begin?
I mean, yeah, this season, I'm glad it's over. I liked this episode, though.
Yeah.
I was going to mention I've started rewatching the first season of The Bear, and there's a couple of things I noticed that answered some questions that we had
Okay.
that don't necessarily apply to this episode. Let's see, what were they? So Chester and Marcus were roommates originally, and Chester was a designer.
That, I don't have one memory of that in my mind.
Why would you? Why would you?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Just even the roommates part.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So that answers that question, I guess.
Yeah.
And Uncle Jimmy, they used to call Cicero.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Gary, they called
Sweet.
Sweet. I did say that we have to give them props for filming on location because a lot of shows don't do that.
Sure.
It's a lost art.
Sure. I think I take it a little, like, I'm not as impressed because, what's his name? Jeremy Allen also shot on location for,
Shameless.
yeah. So for me, it's just one mind in that, you know?
Yeah. I do agree with that. Sid stabs Richie in the first season.
Sid stabs Richie in the
Yeah.
first season? Over what?
Her and Richie was getting mad at Sid for, I guess, he felt like she was being a little hoity-toity because Carm puts her in charge to, like, get the kitchen to shape. And she does grab a knife and is, like, arguing with him, and she puts it down, and so Richie walks away, but then turns around, and she accidentally stabs him in, like, the butt.
Oh, what?
I know. I mean, it's, like, not a huge deal, but it happened. I was like, how do I...
Was it comedic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's just like, oh, my God, what did I do?
Yeah, that's funny. No, I don't remember that at all. Yeah, they don't do physical comedy anymore.
But they did have a parody episode opener in season 2, episode 1,
Okay.
and it's Carmy, and he kind of is just having a emotional breakdown in front of the audience.
Okay.
That's more or less what it is. It's not quite as dramatic as Sid's was.
Okay. Got
So, yep. I think probably would have been good if I'd rewatched the first season again, but oh well, here we are
It's
at
all
the
right.
end.
Right. I wonder. I feel like it'll end in season 6. I think there's 2 more seasons than Christopher.
I think maybe 1.
You think he's wrapping this up next season?
I think he should.
I think he should, but I don't think he will.
I think Christopher really likes himself.
That's why I don't think he will.
And good for him. You know, I act like I would
Sure.
be any better, truly.
Yeah.
Really. I would be Steve Jobs if I had that kind of power. I'd be yelling at people. Sorry.
You think so?
Yeah. I do.
That's funny. All right. Is that all you picked up?
Yeah. Let's go.
If anyone's ever worked under Chelsea and has some complaints, reach out to us.
Oh, you might get 1 or 2.
All right, so the scene opens and we see Sid. I guess she's like in a shed at the back of the restaurant. I couldn't tell what
It's like
this
a little
was.
back alley. You know how they'll have dumpsters and they'll put like
Things in there.
Yeah, like
yeah,
a thing around it so it's not just exposed.
Yeah.
So people can see it.
Yeah.
So it looks a bit nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's there in the back of the restaurant, and then Carmi pops his head in and asks if she's good, because she's obviously contemplating something. And she's telling him, and she tells him that well, first she said she's smoking, and then he was like, whatever, no, you're not. And she's like, all right, I'm just getting some air, leave me alone. But he doesn't. He steps inside to join her, and she says she didn't, and he says she didn't talk to him all service. And, he knows something's up, and she denies at first, but he pushes back. And so she tells him that she talked to Pete, and she found out from Pete that Carmi is leaving and quitting, and she's very upset that she had to hear from Pete, which, yeah, fair, right? Like, I would expect if I'm your partner in this, you tell me, when you're ready to hang it up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Carmi explains to her that he believes that's the best thing for the restaurant. And Sid is like, the restaurant's in debt and you're leaving high and dry. How's this the best thing for the restaurant? You're a part of this restaurant. You're what helps it make money. And then they go back and forth, fighting as they do, higher decibels as they do. And then she stops and she tries to actually smoke a cigarette, which is hilarious because Carmi, we all know that's not Sid, that's Carmi. So she asks Carmi to help her light it. And he does. And then she takes a puff and then she hands it to Carmi. And this is when Carmi breaks his no smoking rule.
That's the happiest he's looked all season.
The most relieved he's looked all season.
Happiest. The funny thing too with Sid is that, and this is just a testament to, I guess, Ao is acting like Sid's doesn't know how to smoke, and she smokes.
Yeah,
there's been
pictures.
Yeah, so she's like playing it up. She's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to hold a cigarette.
Yeah,
I feel so awkward.
Yeah,
it was good.
It's great. So then Carmi then goes on to say that being a chef is all he's ever known and done, and he realized that he did it to opening the restaurant and being gung-ho about it all. He was avoiding other shit going on in his life that he needed to deal with.
Isn't that what we all do?
100%.
Or we just do things to distract ourselves from the things that make us sad. And I mean, work is we're all just doing stuff.
Yeah,
what?
They say heartbreak is to not feel it is to make yourself busy, right? And that's everything. And heartbreak, not just in romantic stuff, if someone dies, you just keep yourself busy to not dwell in that sadness. So yeah, he's not wrong for doing what he did. I think the problem was he just made it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulled everybody in with that tornado.
Yeah. Then he also says, though, that he doesn't love being a chef anymore. And he's lost all inspiration, which I think is a big statement. I don't know.
I think too, we a couple at some point episodes ago in the season were talking about why Carmi's figured out that he doesn't love it anymore. Mm-hmm. And because I was like, nothing's changed. It's not like Sid left. It's not the business has been the business, but it's because he's gone from back of the house to seeing the inner workings.
Yeah.
And it's not fun when you learn that.
Yeah.
Often it's not fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun, but
yeah. But sometimes it's how everyone thinks they have to be an entrepreneur now and own something and stuff. That shit's hard work. Not everyone's cut out for that. Not everyone needs that. Some people are just really good at doing that one thing at their job, and they don't need to make a whole business out of it and then be the boss to do that one thing at their job. Mm-hmm. And I think Carmi has definitely realized that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
No, I just have a comment at the end, I guess.
You can fit it in now.
Well, what I want to talk about at the end, because there's a couple of things that in the dialogue that I think can be added to discussion, is why did he come to this conclusion? Why did he do it the way that he did it? His thought process just doesn't seem very logical to me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to discuss maybe how we think he got there.
Okay, I like that. All right. But then he says he's noticed Sid loves it, and Sid's yeah, I do love it. I wouldn't put up with the bullshit and your bullshit if I didn't. And then Sid, and then Carmi goes on to say he basically used the restaurant to avoid deeper issues. And then they keep going, having a back and forth about the shit, like just talking in circles, really. Hold on.
Yeah, he also in this dialogue it mentions that he knew about the other job that she was, because he's like, I've been friends with Adam for a really long time. Like, he knew that she was talking to Shapiro.
Yeah.
Never mentioned it to her.
No.
So.
Yeah, and Sid gets very defensive. Like, hold on. First of all, this isn't about me. This whole discussion is you're the one who betrayed me by not telling me you're quitting. So let's not even talk about that. And I did like this dialogue. She then smokes again. And then she starts coughing. And Carmi is all like, stop doing that. You're not good at that. And she's like, well, I'm going to get good. And then I wrote in my notes, that is the most Chelsea Sydney's ever been to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to learn how to teach myself to drink black coffee, but here we are.
You got good.
I did get good.
Sid then explains that she was going to tell him about going to work with Adam, but she didn't, and she apologizes and takes ownership and says that she should. She says she's sorry that he has to, like, live through, his brother's death, and has noticed that it's been, like, a looming thing within the restaurant between him, Nat, Richie, and it sucks. All of it sucks, and she wishes, shit could be different for them, but yeah, it just sucks. Carmi then explains again that he's been avoiding shit, and he doesn't want to do that anymore, and that's why he's got to leave.
I wrote that if he thinks leaving the restaurant is going to fix him, it's not.
It's definitely not.
It's just like when you move to a different city. It does get rid of some of your problems.
Right.
Sure. But you're still you.
Yeah. I think, though, he puts 100, like, he doesn't know how to do anything else.
Sure.
So it's not even just about leaving the restaurant, fixing his problems. It's like, let me just do anything, like, and to see if all this changes. Mm-hmm. But he does need to do the inner work. It's not going to miraculously change by leaving. Where am I? Oh, Sid says that if she were to go to work at Adam's restaurant, it would have been great, but he thinks she's better than that. And he goes on to say that she's everything he's never going to be. And then he continues to be all mushy and says, like, she's considerate, she allows herself to care, she's a natural leader and teacher, and that she's doing this all for every right reason. And basically alluding to the fact that he's not. Mm-hmm. Like, Carmi's not. He says that any chance of the restaurant being good and surviving is because of her, and that he believes in her more than him because she's the bear.
Yes.
I have thoughts about this dialogue.
I had same. I wanted to know because I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But this whole, like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That's part of also, like, the thought process. Like, how do we get here? I know there's been scenes and they've shown how Sydney's grown and all of this and how the restaurant can survive without Carmi. Mm-hmm. But we went from, like, another thing rewatching the show has taught me the time frame. Mm-hmm. So it was only 4 months after Michael died that the show starts. Oh, and then they open the restaurant 3 months after that.
Oh, shit.
Or that's roughly. So it's not even a year. Yeah. I don't know quite season 3 how long, but we're probably within a year time frame.
Yeah.
So that's
crazy.
That does make a lot of the emotions heightened.
Yeah.
For, like, I just didn't think that it was so, I thought it was like a couple years later.
Yeah, me too.
So
yeah, because 4 seasons for 1 year is kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, okay, I had to ask you. So the bear, that's what Michael called him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what his family calls him.
Right. So he's saying that he's not the bear anymore. Like, the characteristics of what made his family call him the bear isn't within Sydney now and not him.
I don't know. I mean, I think what he's saying is that she's the bear, like the restaurant, the bear,
Yeah.
She's what's making it good now. Like, she's the one that's going to carry it.
Sure.
But
he named it after himself, or what his family called him.
Yeah. and also it's the TV show. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think if they had never referenced to him being called the bear or bear,
Yes. I get
Fine.
it. Yes.
would never have a problem with this.
Yes. Agreed.
Even with it being the title of the show.
Yeah. Agreed.
But the fact that is one thing they've been consistent on
Yes.
is calling him the bear.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, it's like, okay, so he was the main character of the show. So is it then with this episode, we're shifting lenses and season 5 is going to be about Sydney being the main character because she's the bear?
I'm hopeful that that's the case because it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I found this dialogue very confusing.
Yeah.
What was the intent? And I just, the thought process that got him there just felt so out of the blue.
Yeah, I agree.
Really was not developed. I see how they got there. I see
Yeah.
the steps that they tried to take, but it was so subtle. It was so,
It wasn't done well. I feel like I feel like he knew what he wanted to do, like take his characters and stuff, but he didn't execute it well. And then he kind of like, not to be mean, but like pull shit out of his ass to make it sound like an amazing revelation kind of situation.
it's like the book It. 700 pages of great writing and storytelling. Well, good storytelling.
Yeah.
And then the last 100 pages is just crap. It is terrible. And I think sometimes writers just get to, or, creators just get to the end and it's all laid out there. And
Yeah.
I think endings are so hard.
They are.
They really are.
They are. I
So,
agree.
because I'd rarely like ending the show.
I agree, actually. Yeah. And it takes me a few months after to then appreciate it.
Or
Does that make sense?
rewatch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in the immediate, when I'm watching an ending, I'm like I'm judging it hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
It's important. Endings
It
are
is.
important.
They are.
I'm glad we both felt like that scene was off.
Yes.
Because sometimes I feel dumb. I'm like, am I just not understanding what's on TV?
We're not dumb.
Okay. Or at least we're equally dumb.
Yeah. But that should then make us smart. Anyways, she then breaks down that it's not that she doesn't need him, but she wants him there, and they were meant to be in it together, and that they're partners. And she's not wrong. So then they start shouting again, and then this is when Richie comes in. Now there's 3 people in this scene, and because of the shouting, and Sydney tells him Carmy is leaving, and Richie being the comedic element, they try to do it with the facts, but Richie being one of the comedic elements of the show, he's like, "You're retiring? You're 12."
Yeah.
Which is a very Richie-like thing to say, or a person like Richie-like thing to say.
Drake used to rock climb all the time and he doesn't anymore, so he says he retired, and I find it very funny that he claims like that's how he phrases it.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But yeah, he hasn't climbed since he's retired, so
I feel like there's something we used to do that we don't do anymore, and I need us to figure that out, and then just from now on say that we've retired from doing that. I wonder what that is for me. I don't know. Then Carmy says he's not just going to leave high and dry and leave them in a shit financial situation. He says he's putting the restaurant first. And that's when Richie lashes out and says, like, just like you put your family first, because Carmy wasn't around when Michael died, and they all believe he wasn't around for the funeral either. Carmy then tries to apologize, and Richie isn't trying to hear it. And he's just like, "Leave me alone." And he tries to leave. And just as he's about to leave, Carmy finally tells him that he was at Michael's funeral. Richie turns around and is kind of like, "Well, you knew that was going to fucking stop me in my tracks. What the fuck are you trying to do?" It starts to get a little physical. And Sid tells them to stop.
she gets in the middle of them, which again I thought was an interesting choice. But upon rewatching seasons, that's not the first time she's gotten in between people fighting.
Okay.
I don't know about them specifically, but just in general, she's put herself in between men fighting
Really?
before.
I believe it. And I don't know if it's like before this or after, but like she does say she's gonna leave, and Richie's like, "No,
He
stay.
said, "Sit down."
Yeah. And honestly, I read that as if you leave, I might actually kill him, and I need someone to
I need
stop.
a witness.
Yeah. I need someone to like calm me down. Richie then, Sid breaks them apart, and then Richie tells Carmy he doesn't believe that he was there, and he asks Carmy to prove it by like being like, what was I wearing? Which, fair, I've done that before.
But it's a funeral. I'd be like, you're wearing a black suit.
You're right.
Oh.
Carmi then explains that he doesn't fucking remember, but he went in for a second and then he left and he sat in his car because he just couldn't handle it. Richie responds by saying, like, no shit, you know, it was hard for everyone. I was like, that's the whole point. Then Carmi says that when he came back, he didn't know what to do. Like, when he came back to Chicago, he didn't know what to do. He was angry, he was stuck and scared, and he doesn't know if he actually went back in time and with how he reacted to Michael's death with starting the restaurant and being so tunnel vision with it all, if he would have done it all differently. But he realizes that he was so in it that he didn't realize how it wasn't just him that lost Michael. That's where he's landed. Richie then says that he felt Carmi resented him, which, fair. And Carmi said he did because he was inside his family and, like, he really knew Michael and he was close to Michael. And I felt like for Carmi, it sucks that he wasn't, first of all, around for his final days. And also, I don't have a sibling of the same sex, but I have brothers and I have seen, like, the middle one, so our oldest brother, the middle one, like, Alan really loves Albert. If you know these people, you'll know. Maybe I shouldn't say their names. It's too late.
We can bleep it. I can bleep it. You can text me if you want me to, and I can.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But I have seen, like the oldest one, when they have, like, best friends, the middle one is a bit, like, possessive. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's my brother kind of deal. And I get that. Yeah. Do you have that with your sisters? But they're so much younger than you.
Yeah.
And you're the oldest.
Yeah, I think that they're so much closer in age, and so they grew up together, and I'm very envious that they got to, like, grow up with a sister instead of, like, by the time that Sophia was born, I mean, I was almost a senior in high school and went off to college, so.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Richie then says that he tried to help Michael and he tried to get him to talk to somebody. He even, like, would pop up beef to keep an eye on him. And at the end, obviously, none of it, you know, mattered or whatever. Well, he feels like that and he feels like he failed. And he thought that's why Carmi didn't go to the funeral, which is all heavy stuff. And I think this is when I started to cry.
I didn't remember the funeral talk as much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it did get pretty heavy.
Yeah, it was very vulnerable between both. Carmi and Richie, for the first time, I feel like they've been holding in all this shit, and it's just like just like a sense of relief that they were finally just saying how they felt about one each other, how they perceived the other to be, or whatever. Carmi then tells Richie that he didn't fail, and then Richie then also tells Carmi that he resented him too, because at the end of the day, Michael was his actual, like, brother, and Michael really loved him.
And he, like, is actually part of the family, and, like, Richie will never actually be part of the family. And but he is part of the family.
Yeah.
I know, I get why Richie would feel that way, but he's part of the family.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They can get rid of you even if they tried, you know? Yeah. Richie then tells Carmi he missed him again. I was telling Chelsea this in the beginning, that before recording, that when I was watching this yesterday to make my notes, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, my eyes were leaking, and I was like, this is so bizarre. I've seen this episode before. But it was just men telling each other how they feel gets to me sometimes.
Yeah. Get it. It's a rare thing to see.
Yeah. Richie tells Carmi that he also missed him while he was gone, and that he bought a cookbook just to see what Carmi was dealing with out there in the outside world. He said that he bought the French Laundry cookbook, which apparently is more like a science book, from what I've gathered.
Yeah, and I mean, if I bought the French Laundry cookbook, it's to look at for ideas, not to actually try and do anything in it. Like, it's not. I feel like you have to go to culinary school to, like, be able to approach.
Absolutely.
These. I've watched a lot of cooking TV. I've watched Great British Bake Off, and at no point I watched This Old House, and I thought I could renovate a house. I've watched The Great British Bake Off, and I do not think that I can bake or cook.
Okay.
I mean, I can,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I don't know how to cut up carrots or onions properly. I try every
Okay.
time, and I fuck it up. I just can't do it.
Wow.
I can cut onions,
Yeah.
but not the
In that-
correct way.
Right. That
Yeah.
with the knuckles under the yeah. I get you.
Yeah, the onions are never the same size. They're always different sizes. Yeah.
That's very funny, and it's even more funny that you will tackle like house projects, like putting up curtains and stuff, which I would never do, but I would cook and
Yeah.
stuff like yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I wonder what part of our brain, you know what I mean, that is,
Yeah.
because it's like I feel like I lack in that, and you like yeah.
I think it's because I failed every time I baked. Last time I tried to bake a cake, I spent 3 hours and it was shit.
Really?
Yes.
Bacon is just like steps, formula.
Well, yeah. I made cinnamon rolls one time that turned out really good, which is pretty surprising because that's actually
That's
hard to
hard,
make.
yeah.
But
Okay. I think you need to keep trying. Where was I? Richie then says that. Oh, so they've calmed down. They've had their heart to heart. It's very beautiful. And then Richie mentions, like, doesn't he think, like, he went through all that training, culinary school, and to just walk away from that, isn't that, like, you know, wrong and shit? And it really doesn't make sense. And Carmi says that he doesn't know what he's like outside of the kitchen, as he keeps saying to these people. That's one thing I notice about my notes. I'm like, Carmi just keeps saying the same shit, guys.
I guess nobody's listening, you know?
not.
He really is just saying how it is. And everybody's like,
Really?
yeah, but he's like, no, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Man, a few words, but
But then I guess they finally hear him. And Sid says that if they were to do this, you know, wait, I didn't write this part down. There's all happening. But I believe Richie is like, all right, if you go, you know, everything will be fine because Sydney's still going to be here. And then Sydney's like, well, if I'm to stay, there needs to be a change in the partnership agreement, an update. And the update is that one side will be Jimmy and the other side will be Sid, Nat, and Richie.
yeah, so they're adding Richie on there.
Yeah. Richie thinks it's just like a nice gesture.
Yeah, he says, I don't want to be the mayor of St. Patty's Day. I still don't understand that.
I don't. I lived in Chicago for like 3 years, and I don't understand that reference one bit.
Is it, I guess because St. Patty's Day is like, if you say somebody's the mayor of it, it's just one day, and it's, what does it actually really mean?
Sure, it's just like
just
a figure.
Like executive producer.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to be executive producer on something, and I'm going to be so proud and remind myself that it means nothing.
Oh, it's so funny. It made me think of the Emmy joke they also made about that.
Yeah.
Then, oh yeah, so Sid is like, shut the fuck up. Who has time for gestures? This is not a gesture. This is business. So then Richie allows it and like digests it, and they all agree to it. They then both say that they have no idea how they're gonna keep the place open. But Carmi says that they'll figure it out, which is hilarious because like you're leaving Carmi, but okay.
I think he says he has an idea. He says he's going to fix it.
Yeah,
So he's scheming something.
but we got no hint of it in this season. You know what I mean? Like we didn't see him in the background doing nothing that could suggest that he's finding money.
It feels like a Frances Ha situation. Like you watch that whole movie and she's talking about all this stuff and you never see her do any of it, and then at the end she's done all of it.
Yeah,
very
I'm
confused by that
crying. So then Nat comes in and joins them. Now there's 4 people in this scene, and they tell her that Carmi is leaving and that he went to Mikey's funeral. And again, it's emotional as hell, and Nat is the only one that doesn't fight him on it or question him, and she just goes up to him and hugs him. And yeah, that was the ending of that emotional, I don't know, dialogue of everybody getting out what they had to get out to conclude the season. And then we get a couple of final shots of the city at nighttime, and then we get a final shot of the kitchen, and we see the bear. At the bear, and then we see the clock, and it's 1:11 left, so an hour and 11 minutes left on it. And then we see a couple more shots of the kitchen, around the kitchen, and then we see the countdown of the clock in its final seconds. And that's what brings season 4 to a close.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thankfully. I don't know. I mean, I think that episode as a whole was pretty good. I liked it was only in one place.
Yeah.
And you had 4 characters.
Yes.
It was a lot easier to follow.
It was. It reminded me, like, I feel like every show, a drama show, funny that this is comedy. I guess comedy also has it too, has like a therapy episode. And this for me was a therapy episode, you know, of people just finally talking, communicating. Yeah. I did like how it ended. As you were saying, how if we could like pinpoint Carmi's journey to this final decision, could we actually do that? I couldn't. I'm trying to think about it.
To me, the last question I wrote was, what did we gain from this season? Because this is a question we asked ourselves when we went through Severance season 2, and we really, it's like everything that happens in the last episode, you really didn't need the other 9 episodes to get there.
No, because no one else was involved. Talking about all the characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's so much in between. It just doesn't quite add up. There's something missing in the story.
Yeah.
And even though there's a lot going on and the story is good, there's just something missing to connect all the dots.
Yeah.
Some of them are just not connecting.
No. And I think it's more frustrating because it's like a 10 episode season, right? I understand the nothingness of a 24 episode season show.
Yeah.
That is, you're going to have filler episodes there, you're going to have whatever. But for these short of seasons, I feel like the storyline has to build and connect in some way. You can have like 2 off the cuff, whatever, but yeah, you really could just do away with the season and make somebody literally watch from end of season 3 to end of season 4, just like that. You don't even know. Yeah, and
those 2 episodes.
Yeah, and they'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that TV shows, we've talked about this a bunch on the main episodes, before you had 22 episodes per season because it was on air and you were restricted to a certain time frame and all that stuff. So that's what they were working with and have a budget. Well, now they have a budget. I'm just like, you don't have to make 10 episodes. Is that in the contract? Why don't we make 12 episodes?
Right.
13 episodes, 14 episodes. That's okay. Budget's then a little bit smaller per episode.
Right.
But you can get creative.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
I'm confused why we're stuck on the 6 episode. We're getting down to 6 episodes now.
Yeah.
6 episodes, 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also this is not Game of Thrones. This is not Severance. This is not on location. They're not doing no sci-fi. It's not insane makeup and costume, or product or whatever design. Pay your actors correctly, do the writing well, and focus on that. I don't know what they're doing with the rest of it, honestly.
Christopher wrote most of the episodes. So, you paying the writers.
True.
You're paying yourself.
Yeah. And then he's had 1 or 2 of the actors, right, too? So it's like, yeah.
Well, that ends that.
Thank God. We're sorry we put you through that. I'm sorry you put yourself through this.
Thank you, though. I hope it wasn't torturous. I feel like it was a little torturous for us.
Yeah. I'm sorry we made it seem very painful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually did like watching the season and talking about it, but it just reminds me that there's some things about it that... And we did agree, at least for the next one, if not next few, / maybe moving forward altogether, the recaps are going to be on shows that we know we like, that we've 100%. Seen before.
Yes.
Maybe we can do Hack Season 5, because we know that we'll like it, but maybe also not.
Maybe. Apparently it's the final season, you guys. We
Yes.
did not mention that of Hacks. But they said that last time, so.
All right, till the next recap, whenever that's going to be.
We'll speak to you whenever we speak to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you watching this? watching this?